Hey guys, had a pretty good find. I went to four different shops today. One of them I bought one CD, one of them I bought nothing, and the other one I bought two, three, no, four. Three, one, two, three, four, and then the other one I got a whole bunch more. So just panning across. So we've got three Franz Ferdinand albums. Um, that's the self-titled first album, and then you could have It's So Much Better, and this one I didn't even know existed because I haven't really followed the career since that second album. What's it called? Always Ascending. So I have no idea what that's going to sound like, but I don't mind Franz Ferdinand. So $1 each for those. Arctic Monkeys. What's that? AM. Now this is in the cardboard sleeve. It's hard to find a cardboard sleeve secondhand that isn't quite tattered. They're all pretty tattered. You can see this has got kind of, where on the bend on the spine where it's been bent over the years, and around the edges it's kind of, the paper kind of just gets worn away. But that's okay. Arctic Monkeys, it's not really a band I've ever really followed that much, but when I do listen to some of their songs, I think, yeah, they're not bad. So I'll give that a listen. Kings of Leon, Come Around Sundown. This is the one that was released around 2010. I remember I have most of the early Kings of Leon albums. I think I've got about four of them. I remember this one because of that song Radioactive. Has that video that people made fun of, called it their African Child moment. If you've ever seen, is it Get Him to the Greek with Russell Brand, or is it the one before that, Forgetting Sarah Marshall? And he plays a rock star, and he makes a video called African Child. And if you've seen Radioactive by Kings of Leon, it's kind of like that, but they're being serious, and they got kind of mocked for it. But yeah. Anyway, Kings of Leon, that was $1. So far, all of these have been $1. Green Day, 21st Century Breakdown. I haven't listened to much Green Day past American Idiot. I think this was the one after American Idiot, wasn't it? Actually, I'm not sure. But anyway, Green Day, they're not a bad band, and they've usually got a few good songs per album at least. See, this is broken up into acts like, this is produced by Butch Vig as well. By by kind of like different parts of a story, like An American Idiot, Jesus is Suburbia, how it's broken up into different parts, like a kind of like a story. Looks like that's the same for this, but never actually listened to anything on this. I think I've heard the single, which is 21 Guns, maybe. Anyway, I'll give that a listen when I get a chance. Marilyn Manson, one of his more recent albums. I haven't listened to anything. I own Mechanical Animals, Antichrist Superstar, and the one after Mechanical Animals, which is Hollywood, in the Shadow of Hollywood, or whatever it's called. The one that's got a fight song on it, which would have been about 2002. I haven't listened to anything past that. This one, I think, is about 2011. Pale Emperor. The Pale Emperor. Did it say the date on here? I can't actually see. The CD is jet black. That's interesting, isn't it? It's, even the like the label information around the edge is in black as well. That's quite cool. It's quite a cool effect, isn't it? And look, this side is black as well. Like sometimes I remember PlayStation games used to be like that. Sometimes they would be black. 2015, I can just see there it's reflecting. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Anyway, no idea what that's going to sound like. No idea what Marilyn Manson stuff has sounded like since the early 2000s. So I know he's in a bit of trouble at the moment, although one of his accusers just last week admitted that he hadn't done anything. She dropped the lawsuit against him, which is interesting. if you follow what's happened with his with all that stuff. War on Drugs, Lost in the Dream. Now, I'm pretty sure I've heard this album before, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's a band that I've certainly listened to before, and I'd like to listen to more. So I saw that and I grabbed it because it was, again, only $1. Herman's Hermits from the 60s. This is like a, what is it? The concert collection. I think this is just kind of, is it a live? I thought it was just, I don't actually know. But anyway, I don't mind Herman's Hermits. Used to hear their music on the radio when I was a kid. My parents used to listen to like this 1960s station, I remember. And yeah. Eagle Eye Cherry, remember him? I think he was kind of a one-hit wonder, wasn't he? The big song he had was Save Tonight. And I don't think I've ever heard another song by him, and I've never heard anything else about him since then. I'm sure he still makes music, but he dropped off the mainstream radar back when this came out in 1998. I remember when I was in 1998, I would have been 17. Me and my girlfriend at the time sat in the car all night, listening to the radio, as you do, listening to the radio. And I think her mate was there too. And I remember that, for some reason, whenever I hear that song, Save Tonight by this, it reminds me of that night sitting in the car and talking and driving around literally all night. And I had to go to work the next day, I remember, like at a part-time job at a supermarket. And I felt absolutely fucking knackered. But anyway, so yeah, I'd be interested to hear A, the rest of this album, and B, maybe research and see what he's been doing since 1998. $1 for that. This one I was happy to find. I've actually been looking for buying this for ages. I was going to buy this at the secondhand music store. So all of these ones I've just shown now are from secondhand charity shops. You know, they sell clothes and other bits and pieces. But I saw this one at an actual secondhand music store over in the city last year, and it was about $15. And I was going to buy it, and I'm glad I didn't because I found it for $1. Pixies Greatest Hits. And I own a few Pixies albums. I think I got Bossa Nova and Doolittle. But it's good to have what I like, and I'm still trying to find all the albums, because of course eventually I want to have the whole Pixies discography, but in the meantime I like to have a greatest hits to cover, you know, across their fill in the gaps of the albums I don't have, basically. So it's all the songs you'd imagine: Bone Machine, Monkey Gone to Heaven, Debaser, etc., etc. Soundtrack for The Last of the Mohicans by Trevor Jones. Saw this movie on Christmas Day, probably 1991. I would have been like a wee kid at the time, but anyway, I remember watching it on Christmas Day. Produced by Michael Mann. Did Michael Mann direct the movie? Look at that. This is 92, 96, so that's interesting. The movie, yeah, okay, well I said 91. Obviously if it says 92, the movie came out after 91. And it says 96, so maybe this was issued later? Anyway. Desperado soundtrack. Desperado is a great movie. I love that movie. It looks like it's got a... most of these kind of match up with the movie. You know, when I talked about soundtracks yesterday, the Batman soundtracks, and I said a lot of the songs have no connection to the movie whatsoever, no bearing on it. But these all look like they connect. There's a lot of like kind of Latin type music, Los Lobos, Latin Playboys, Tito and Tarantula, Carlos Santana. Give that a listen. Margaret Ehrlich's album, Second Nature. This is from 1999. A couple of weeks ago, I did a review of her earlier album, one from 87, 88, was it? 89? Well, this is a more recent one. So I might actually do a review of this separately. Listen to this and have a talk about it in a separate video, because I'm interested to hear what she sounded like 10 years after her initial success. And last one, this one was $2. This was at the first shop I went to. First shop was a bit sparse, and I just thought, I'll get a Steve Winwood CD so that I'm not walking out empty-handed. And it was $2. But it's what album is it? Roll With It. Don't know much about Steve Winwood. You know, one of the reasons why I got this is because I know his name and I know some of the songs he's done. What Higher Love, I guess, is his big one. Also saw the producer Tom Lord Alge, who's been involved in a lot of albums I like. And actually, I just saw his name on one of those other CDs I was flicking through before. Who was it? Was it Eagle Eye Cherry? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I have no idea what that's going to be like, but willing to give it a listen. So I think that's a pretty good range of finds for a Tuesday afternoon. I'm glad I went out, because I was almost not going to go out. I wasn't really in the mood, but then sometimes you go and you think, wow, some decent, good condition, newish CDs here. So yeah. All right, thanks for watching.